Okay, so I want to thank everybody for joining me again at the shop here. This is the Hallicrafters TW 1000 restoration. I always say it's very important to have the service data that goes along with the radio or TV or whatever you're working on, because it makes life so much easier. When we left off, I was talking about what I had to do with the dial cord. Well, interestingly, this radio has 3 dial cords. If you've ever been into restoring radios with dial cords, you'll really understand the frustration that happened to me. So let's get into it, and we'll pick up where we left off. Okay, so here we are. When we left off, this dial cord was actually broken, okay? And this is what moved this back and forth to indicate what band you were on. Interestingly, what I did was I looked at the service data. I have a copy of that here. And the service data shows that cord, or that dial cord, to be 16 inches long. Very good. So that's why I said it's important to have this. What I did was I took a piece about 20 inches. Now, I don't have dial cord. Interestingly, you need a cord that is not going to stretch. What I'm using is cord that is used to make bowstrings. So it does not stretch, believe me. And when I did this, I tied this end up here. Okay. I measured out, I straightened the cord out, and I measured off 16 inches where 16 inches should be. And then I wrapped it around, did what I was supposed to do twice around, and came up here, put it through the spring, pulled the spring down, the cord down until the spring came down to where the 16 inches was. I double wrapped it, tied it, crazy glued it, and then cut the excess off. That was all well and good. Once that dried, then I had to get the correct positioning of this with the band that I was on. So it took a little fiddling, slipping this here or there to get this to work right. One of the problems I had was this knob was so worn. Okay, don't forget, this is a TV type clunker. Clunk, 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 every time you turn it, with a lot of stress on it. So what happened was the brass that was in here, I don't know if it was brass or just a piece of metal, spring steel, eventually wore to a point where the knob would just continually turn and wouldn't do anything. I took another piece of brass and put it over what was in there to make up the difference. And now it works fine. I'll give you, okay, here we go. We have the knob on. So now you can see how this moves totally across. And as that works, you'll see it once I get the dial face back on, that these red indicators will show or indicate what band you're on. Okay, so it just took a little bit of alignment. Again, while I was in there, all of this was corroded. Aluminum was corroded. It had to be cleaned. I put a little lithium grease on the track, cleaned up the backside as well so that it worked fine. My problem was I found that the dial indicator going across, the channel indicator, as I tuned, was slipping. Down in here, let me reposition this a little bit. Okay, it was slipping. As I tuned, it slipped across the band, didn't tune. much just because it's not all together. So what I had to do was I had to tighten up this cord on this spring. Well, that went easy until these 3 turns or 2 turns popped off and all unraveled. After fiddling with it, I should have done what I had seen someone else do, is take a piece of tape and wrap a piece of tape as far around as you can around here so that while you're working on it, it doesn't fall off. Unfortunately, I didn't think of that until it was too late. So it was about 45 minutes of playing with this to get it back on, and it finally started. It tightened it up. You can see there's no sag in here. Okay, there's no sag. It's working nice now. Interesting again, there are three different dial stringing methods on these models. It took me a little while to figure out which one I had because I thought I had the earliest model, which I don't. The earliest model had extra wheels for the string to ride on. It seems like, I guess, they decided to save some money and they did away with them. One went here. There was another one on the other side. Anyway, they totally changed it, and I had to figure out which one I had, but I got it back on, and it's working now. So I'm going to pause this for a minute. The next thing I have to do, I've cleaned the dial face. I'm going to put that on. So I'm going to pause this and start getting it ready. Put you guys on a stand while I'm doing this so that you don't get seasick. Okay. I originally said I was going to disconnect the speaker. I found I had enough room in there to work without doing that. So that's why the speaker is still connected. Okay. Hold on, and I'll be right back. Okay. So what I need to do, there is a position here for a screw, and it fits into here. I'm going to put that on first, and then the other 4 screws here. What I need to do is get this into position without breaking the dial cord and going into dial cord hell again. Okay. And thank God for nut drivers. It makes life so much easier. Once you get this one on the back, and now we can take the other 4. And again, something's not right because the screws aren't lining up here. No, okay. All right. I'm going to pause this because I don't need any profanity on my... Okay, well, unfortunately, the dial plate can't go on until the bottom goes back into place. So I've got that in place. I'm going to pause this. I have to do a little repositioning here, and we'll get back into this. Okay, so we're back. And I just have to do some alignment here. Everything fits in nice and snug. Yep, oh yeah, yep, here it comes. No F-bombs, no F-bombs, Freddie. Come on, get it in there. See, the problem is if I drop one of these little screws on the floor, oh my God, it's going to be hours down there, hands and knees and a flashlight looking for it. Because it's not something I can just go to the hardware store and buy another one. Ah, yes. Vintage electronics. And believe me, I try to keep everything as original as I possibly can when it comes to screws, nuts, bolts, everything. We're looking pretty good. I do have this guy. This little guy here goes up in here. Oh yeah, right, that's another simple thing to do. Oh, yes, yes, always fun. Turn it around. Now I know what you guys are talking about, working in front of a camera, working around the camera. Yep, it's got to go in. Man, I don't know what happened, but for some reason, that doesn't seem to line up anymore. All right, let's do the next thing. Unloosen the screws. See if it'll slip down a little bit. Doubt it. Yeah, this is real interesting, I know, guys. Freddie trying to figure out what to do here. Yeah. I'm gonna pause you guys. There we go. Get this back in. Yeah, I like nut drivers. Don't have to worry about it slipping off. Turn this around so you can see what I'm actually doing here. A little light on it. I'll retighten these. And you don't want to jump and scratch this dial plate, that's for sure. Okay. And again on this one here, this side. Black screws, black dial face. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So here is the channel clunker. Okay, that's not right. Something moved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, hold on. Okay, little extra light. You can see the dial indicator. It'll show you what band you're on. Going up. Okay. That's going to take some work. Not quite sure what the issue is, but I'm at least close to that point here. Look at this. Okay. All right. Okay. I got it now. But boy, I'll tell you, the person who designed this was a masochist with the dial cords going back and forth and everything. Guy was definitely a masochist. All right, so we've pretty much got this done on this part. I'm gonna shut this off. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. What I want to show you is this plate that goes on here. Nice. It's going to look nice. If you can see this side over here, how shiny it is. I've been using Simichrome over here to show you how that'll come up. Simichrome is a polishing paste for metal. Works great. I use it all the time. And that'll be next. I'm going to finish that up. Next part is to start working on the electronics. I'm going to put together a list of what needs to be done, but so far we're running good. All right, with that and a few of the issues that I had, I think I'm going to call it a night, guys. And we'll pick it up when I'm working on the electronics. Very good. Take care. Have a great weekend. Okay, we're back. I want to talk a little bit more about electronics here. I've got some options on this capacitor. This is a 4-section cap that's in here. One, I could remove it completely and use an adapter cap on top of it down at the base here. You know, it's all got rivets have got to be drilled out and everything, but that's okay. I could take this out completely, use adapter caps, and the 4 caps would just be sitting up here. I believe I can get this black cover off. It's an aluminum can under. I believe I can get that off, and just be able to slide that down over the top, because it will house the caps in there. A little snug, but it'll fit. The other option is to totally leave this where it is and disconnect the wires down below and add the caps throughout the chassis underneath. Okay, that's another option. The third option that I've done in the past is I get this black cover off. I cut the aluminum case about a 1/2 inch up. Okay, I just cut it right off. You can use a utility knife, soft aluminum, it'll cut, or you can use a hacksaw or coping saw blade and just cut right through it and take all the guts out of it, then drill holes down and put your caps through there and solder the caps on the bottom. That's another way of doing it. I've done that a bunch of times with my transoceanics. So we're going to see. I've never used one of these before, but I'm going to see how this goes with this radio. I took a look at all these tubes. These are all original tubes in here, so I'm amazed that it's all original to that extent. Underneath, let's flip this baby up. Let's flip this baby up. Okay, so here we go. Again, I talked about this before. If I can zoom in. There we go. Adjust you up a little bit. Okay. In here is where that 4-section cap is. It's going to take a little bit to get some of this stuff out of the way. But again, I'm going to be in here 4 sections. It might be a little tight, trying to get all of this out and then redo it. So it's very possible I'll just cut the can on the top and put the caps in from the top. Not sure yet. But anyway, again, all these have to go. I've done some spot checking on the resistors. Most of them are within spec. These are 5%ers. They're within 5%. They'll stay. Again, the selenium rectifier is going to go, and I have to start cleaning up these contacts on this tuner. So again, we're looking at a pretty clean chassis. I've been doing some cleaning as I go. I use this is a makeup brush that my daughter didn't want anymore. It's very soft, very pliable, very easy to get in and brush some of that old dust. I should have a mask on. This is all cadmium dust that I'm dusting off of here. Yeah, really good. Don't breathe this stuff in. I have to clean that off. I'm going to use a damp cloth so it doesn't go all over. But again, you can get in here if there's dust in here and you want to get it off. You can do that with a nice soft brush. All right, that's it for tonight. Again, thanks for stopping in to Fred B Radio, and a special shout out to B Anderson TV, Shango 66, and Mr. Carlson's Lab. I take a little bit of everything from each of them and do my own thing. So everybody's out there. If you want to restore old radios, there's plenty of channels out there to jump onto and learn a little bit and do some restorations. A lot of fun. Learn stuff about tube radios before you get into them, because they are high voltages, and I don't want to see anybody electrocuting themselves. So take care. Have a great Sunday, and we'll see you again next week. Take care.